Hi, welcome to my second compilation. Here is 30 minutes of shorts about interesting history. Enjoy.
Imagine a movement so powerful that it swept thousands of young people into a journey across Europe, all in pursuit of a dream. In the early 1200s, the Children's Crusade unfolded, one of the most mysterious and debated episodes in medieval history. According to chronicles, bands of children and youths, inspired by intense religious fervor, set out from France and Germany, believing their innocence would succeed where seasoned knights had failed, reclaiming the Holy Land from Muslim control. Led by charismatic figures like the French shepherd Stephen of Cloyes and the German boy Nicholas, they marched for hundreds of miles, fueled by hope and faith. Their belief was that the Mediterranean Sea would miraculously part for them, allowing safe passage to Jerusalem. Yet history records no such miracle. Instead, most never reached their destination. Many were turned back by authorities, perished from exhaustion, hunger, or disease, or as some accounts claim, were deceived and sold into slavery. The true details remain shrouded in legend, conflicting reports and speculation, but the Children's Crusade endures as a haunting tale of faith, innocence, and the harsh realities of the medieval world.
What if an entire community vanished without a trace? In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, off the coast of present-day North Carolina, determined to build a new life in an unfamiliar land. Led by John White, the group faced harsh conditions, limited resources, and relied heavily on fragile relationships with local Native American tribes for survival. Shortly after establishing the colony, White returned to England to gather supplies, but ongoing conflict delayed his return for 3 long years. When he finally made it back in 1590, the settlement was eerily deserted. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan, carved into a post. There were no bodies, no signs of struggle or battle, just an unsettling silence. The fate of the Roanoke colonists remains one of history's most enduring mysteries. Some theories suggest they assimilated with nearby tribes, while others believe they perished due to disease, starvation, or hostile encounters. Archaeological investigations have uncovered intriguing artifacts, yet no definitive answers have emerged. The lost colony of Roanoke continues to captivate historians and adventurers alike, serving as a haunting reminder of the dangers and uncertainties faced by those who dared to seek a new world across the Atlantic. What if I told you that a single monument traveled thousands of miles, surviving wars, crusades, and shifting empires? And no, I'm not talking about the Pandrorica that was guarded by the last Centaurian for 2,000 years. The green obelisk of Heliopolis, carved from gleaming green stone in ancient Egypt, was originally erected to honor the sun god Ra, but its story took a wild turn centuries later. After the decline of Heliopolis, the obelisk was uprooted, literally, and swept into the feverish trade of relics and treasures coveted by medieval rulers. By the early Middle Ages, it had found its way to Byzantium, where emperors displayed it as a trophy of lost worlds. Crusaders, awed by its exotic origins, seized it during their campaigns, and the obelisk began a mysterious journey across Europe. Some chroniclers claimed it stood briefly in Venice. Others whispered it adorned a forgotten monastery in the Alps. Each move added new legends. Some believed it brought luck. Others feared it cursed. By the Renaissance, the green obelisk had vanished from records, its final resting place unknown. To this day, its fate remains an unsolved enigma, a silent witness to the secret currents of medieval power and obsession. Imagine a rebellion so fierce it forced the mighty Roman Empire to rethink its power. In 132 AD, Simon Bar Kokhba led a massive Jewish uprising in Judea, challenging Rome's rule with surprising success. His forces recaptured Jerusalem and even minted their own coins, declaring independence. The Romans responded with overwhelming force, deploying legions and devastating the region. After 3 years of brutal fighting, the revolt was crushed, but its legacy reshaped Jewish history, leading to widespread diaspora and a ban on Jews in Jerusalem. What could bring down the most powerful bank of its age? The Medici Bank, once the financial powerhouse of Europe, secretly collapsed in 1494. Mismanagement, risky loans to monarchs, and internal family conflict led to its downfall. The bank's failure sent shockwaves through Europe, disrupting trade and shaking trust in banking families. Its sudden demise forced new financial systems to emerge, paving the way for modern banking. The Medici story is a gripping tale of ambition, secrecy, and how even the mightiest can fall, forever altering the course of European finance. What would drive leaders to put a corpse on trial? In 897, Rome witnessed the Cadaver Synod, one of history's most bizarre episodes. Pope Stephen VI ordered the exhumation of his predecessor, Pope Formosus, dressing the decaying body in papal robes and seating it in court. A deacon answered for the corpse, as Formosus was charged with violating church law. The outcome was grim. The corpse was found guilty, stripped of its papal garments, and tossed into the Tiber River. This shocking spectacle fueled chaos and left a lasting mark on medieval society. What could drive powerful kingdoms into battle besides land or gold? In the 14th century, the War of the Whiskers erupted in Eastern Europe, as rival kingdoms fought fiercely for control of the lucrative fur trade. Coveted for their warmth and status, luxurious pelts became a symbol of power and wealth among nobility. Battles raged not just on open fields, but along secret trade routes and remote forests. The conflict shaped alliances, fueled intrigue, and even influenced royal fashions for generations. This forgotten war reveals how desire for opulence once redrew the map of Europe. What if a tidal wave of syrup crashed through your city? In 1919, Boston faced a bizarre disaster when a massive storage tank burst, releasing over 2 million gallons of molasses into the streets. The sticky wave, reaching speeds up to 35 mph, destroyed buildings and trapped people and horses in its path. Rescue efforts were hampered by the thick, clinging syrup. 21 people lost their lives, and cleanup crews battled the sweet mess for months. The event led to new safety standards and remains one of history's most peculiar tragedies. What happens when rivals meet among the stars? In July 1975, American and Soviet spacecraft docked in orbit during the Apollo-Soyuz test project. For the first time, astronauts from the United States and cosmonauts from the Soviet Union opened their hatches and greeted each other with smiles and handshakes, sharing meals and experiments. This extraordinary mission showed that even at the height of competition, collaboration was possible above Earth. Their handshake in space became a powerful symbol of what humanity can achieve when we work together. What if bird droppings could shape a nation's destiny? In 1856, the U.S. Congress passed the Guano Islands Act, allowing American citizens to claim uninhabited islands with valuable guano, bird droppings used as fertilizer. With agriculture booming, guano was a precious resource, rich in nitrates and phosphates. Dozens of remote Pacific and Caribbean islands were claimed under this law, sparking international disputes and leading to U.S. control over territories far from its shores, all in pursuit of this unlikely natural treasure. Did you know a single Viking raid erased one of Europe's mightiest towns? Hedeby, once a bustling trade hub linking Scandinavia with the continent, faced devastation in 1066. Ruthless forces led by King Harald Hardrada launched a surprise attack, burning Hedeby to the ground. The town's strategic location made it a magnet for wealth and envy. After the raid, Hedeby never recovered. Its merchants and craftspeople fled, leaving behind haunting ruins. Today, archaeologists unearth traces of its lost grandeur, piecing together the story of a city destroyed in a single fiery night. What if a single stone could connect distant ancient civilizations? The Amber Road was an ancient network of trade routes stretching from the chilly shores of the Baltic Sea to the sunlit Mediterranean, carrying precious amber, fossilized tree resin glowing with a golden warmth, valued as early as 3000 BC. This radiant gem wasn't just prized for its beauty and jewelry. Ancient cultures believed it held magical powers, a spark of the divine. This winding path, trodden by merchants and travelers, wove together tribes and empires across thousands of miles, fostering cultural exchange that shaped early Europe. By the way, I write all my own content, so if you love diving into ancient mysteries like this, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Archaeologists have unearthed amber beads in tombs as far away as Egypt and Mycenae, revealing the astonishing reach of this ancient lifeline. The Amber Road wasn't just a trade route, it was a bridge between worlds, carrying the enduring allure of its golden cargo through the ages. What if the fate of an entire nation rested on secret messages and invisible ink? Deep in enemy territory, a group of ordinary citizens formed the Culper Spy Ring, one of the most daring and effective espionage networks of its time. Operating covertly in New York, this hidden alliance used coded letters, aliases, and even laundry signals to pass vital information to their leaders. Their leader, Abraham Woodhull, adopted the codename Samuel Culper, while tavern keeper Anna Strong used her clothesline to send subtle signals to fellow agents. The ring's most ingenious tool was invisible ink, known as sympathetic stain, which could be revealed only with a special reagent, allowing secret messages to hide in plain sight. Their greatest achievement was uncovering and foiling a plot to capture a top general, shifting the balance of power at a critical moment. Every message carried immense risk. Discovery meant certain death. Yet for years, the British never cracked their intricate web of secrets. The Culper Spy Ring's blend of ordinary courage, clever tactics, and extraordinary secrecy proved that sometimes the quietest acts can change the course of history forever. Imagine risking your nation's future on a single bold venture. In 1698, Scotland did just that, launching the Darien Scheme, a plan to establish a trading colony called New Caledonia on the Isthmus of Panama. The goal? To control the crucial trade routes between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, transforming Scotland into a global economic power. Thousands of Scots invested their life savings, and nearly 2,500 settlers braved the unknown, arriving in a mosquito-infested jungle with little preparation. Disaster soon followed. The settlers faced tropical diseases like malaria and dysentery, severe food shortages, and relentless heat. Spain, which claimed the territory, launched attacks, while neighboring English colonies, under pressure from the English government, refused to provide aid or trade. Within a year, the colony collapsed entirely. Only a few hundred settlers survived the ordeal. The financial loss was catastrophic. Nearly a quarter of Scotland's liquid wealth vanished overnight. The Darien disaster devastated the Scottish economy and morale, weakening the nation and setting the stage for the 1707 union with England. This bold but doomed gamble forever altered the course of Scottish and British history, a cautionary tale of ambition, risk, and the fragile fate of nations. Imagine a city under siege, not just defended by soldiers, but by some of the greatest minds in history. In 1529, Florence faced a brutal assault from imperial troops determined to crush its independence and restore a ruling family. But Florence fought back with more than swords. Its defenders included artists, architects, and scientists. Among them was Michelangelo, famed sculptor and painter, who was appointed chief of fortifications. He designed innovative defensive walls, underground passages, and artillery placements, using his deep understanding of geometry and engineering. Local artisans forged new weapons and devised clever traps to repel invaders. Scholars mapped enemy positions, while inventors experimented with early forms of landmines and signaling systems to communicate across the battlefield. The city became a laboratory where creativity met desperation, blending art and science in the face of overwhelming odds. Though Florence eventually fell after a grueling 10-month siege, its defenders left a legacy of ingenuity under fire. The siege stands as a powerful testament to how intellect and creativity can become vital tools in the fight for survival. What if the first person in space was actually lost in orbit? Not Yuri Gagarin, but someone whose story was erased forever. The lost cosmonauts theory claims that, before Gagarin's historic flight in 1961, the Soviet Union launched secret manned missions that ended in tragedy. According to this chilling legend, early cosmonauts perished in orbit, their existence denied by the Soviet government to preserve the image of a flawless space program. The theory first emerged when Italian radio enthusiasts, the Giudica Cordiglia brothers, reported intercepting mysterious radio transmissions they believed came from dying cosmonauts drifting helplessly in space. Despite no official evidence, Whispers of missing flights, unexplained deaths, and vanished identities have fueled speculation for decades. Some point to erased names from Soviet records and suspicious deaths of test pilots under mysterious circumstances. While most historians consider the lost cosmonauts a myth, the intense secrecy of the Soviet era ensures the mystery endures, reminding us that not all stories of space exploration are triumphs. Some are tragedies, and some may be hidden in the silence between the stars, lost to time forever. Did you know a single tree nearly triggered a war between two powerful nations? In August 1976, a poplar tree in the Korean demilitarized zone became the center of a dangerous standoff. 2 U.S. officers were killed by North Korean soldiers while trying to trim the tree, which blocked the view between checkpoints. The shocking attack instantly escalated tensions along the heavily fortified border. Fearing further violence, the United States launched Operation Paul Bunyan, a massive show of force designed to cut down the tree completely. Truckloads of troops, armored vehicles, engineers, and even B-52 bombers were deployed to the area. Soldiers wielded chainsaws while others stood guard, bristling with weapons and ready for combat. North Korean forces watched silently but did not interfere. The tree was felled in just 42 minutes, ending the immediate crisis. Operation Paul Bunyan was a carefully calculated response, a demonstration of overwhelming power without firing a single shot. This extraordinary event is a striking reminder of how small moments can have outsized impacts. A single tree standing in a tense border zone almost changed the course of history and nearly sparked a devastating conflict. Long before emails, texting, or even telegraphs, the Mongols created a vast network of relay stations stretching from East Asia to Eastern Europe. Riders would gallop from one station to the next, switching horses at each stop for maximum speed and endurance. Some reports claim that urgent orders could travel over 200 miles in a single day, an astonishing feat for the time. The stations, spaced about 25 to 40 miles apart, were stocked with fresh horses, food, and shelter, ensuring that messengers could keep moving day and night without delay. This system didn't just connect distant corners of the world's largest land empire. It enabled rapid military coordination, intelligence gathering, and even the swift delivery of news and official decrees. The Mongols enforced strict laws protecting the yam, punishing anyone who interfered with the messengers or the stations. In an era when most kingdoms struggled with slow, unreliable communication, the Mongol network stood out as a marvel of organization and efficiency, shaping the way empires would communicate for centuries to come. Thanks for watching, but listen to this. Imagine marching through a dense, misty forest, unaware that fate is about to change forever. In 9 CE, 3 elite Roman legions, 7, 8th, and 1910, were led into the Teutoburg forest by Publius Quinctilius Varus, guided by Arminius, a trusted ally. This chieftain, secretly loyal to his Germanic kin, betrayed Rome. Over several days, Germanic tribes ambushed the legions in the swampy, shadowed woods, where Roman formations faltered. Rain-soaked and disoriented, nearly 20,000 legionaries were decimated, their defeat so complete, it stunned the ancient world. This catastrophic loss halted Rome's expansion eastward, fixing the Rhine as the empire's frontier and shaping Europe's cultural and political boundaries for centuries. The forest swallowed an empire's dreams, leaving a legacy still felt today. Arminius's triumph preserved Germanic independence, while Rome, scarred by the disaster, never reused those legion numbers, forever marking the tragedy. Imagine a time when a single flower bulb could buy you a mansion. In the 1630s, the Netherlands was gripped by tulip mania, a frenzy where tulip bulbs became the hottest commodity. Prices skyrocketed as people from all walks of life traded bulbs, hoping to strike it rich. Some rare varieties sold for more than 10 times the annual income of a skilled worker. Suddenly, in February 1637, the bubble burst. Buyers vanished, and prices crashed overnight. Fortunes were lost, leaving Holland with a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked speculation. Ever wondered who ruled Italy before the Romans? Meet the Etruscans, a mysterious civilization thriving in central Italy from the 8th to 3rd century BCE. They built advanced cities, crafted stunning art, and engineered elaborate tombs, yet their language and origins, possibly Anatolian or native, remain enigmatic. Etruscan society mastered metallurgy, urban planning, and rituals, teaching Romans road building, arches, and omen interpretation. Their city-states, led by kings and aristocrats, were overtaken as Rome rose, their culture absorbed. Their legacy endures in archaeological wonders, hinting at a vibrant world in modern Tuscany and Lazio. What if a lake could kill you without warning? On August 21, 1986, Lake Nyos in Cameroon proved it could, releasing a massive cloud of carbon dioxide that silently suffocated over 1,700 people and thousands of livestock in nearby villages. The disaster struck under the cover of night, leaving no chance for escape as the invisible gas spread, claiming entire families in moments. Scientists were baffled. How could a lake turn so deadly? The culprit was a rare natural phenomenon, a limnic eruption. Deep beneath the lake, volcanic activity had seeped CO2 into the water for years, where it dissolved and built up under pressure at the lake's bottom. A landslide, possibly triggered by seismic tremors or heavy rains, disturbed the stratified layers, unleashing the gas in a catastrophic cloud. Researchers, initially stunned by the scale of the tragedy, raced to understand the phenomenon. Today, degassing pipes vent CO2 from Lake Nyos's depths, a critical safeguard against another disaster. Yet, the memory of that silent, invisible killer lingers, haunting the region and underscoring nature's unpredictable wrath. Did you know the United States once had an army of ghosts? What if you could trick your enemies with nothing but art, sound, and a bit of theatrical flair? In 1944, a top-secret American unit known as the Ghost Army did exactly that. Officially called the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, this unique group was made up of artists, designers, actors, and sound engineers recruited for their creative talents. Their mission: to create illusions so convincing that enemy forces would be completely fooled. They used inflatable tanks, rubber airplanes, and fake artillery that looked real from a distance. Massive speakers broadcasted the sounds of moving convoys, bustling camps, and even construction work. Soldiers donned different uniforms and staged fake headquarters, complete with phony radio transmissions to simulate troop movements. The Ghost Army carried out over 20 deception operations across Europe, saving thousands of lives by confusing enemy commanders about the real location and strength of Allied forces. Their creative tactics remained classified for decades after the conflict ended. Today, their story stands as a remarkable testament to the power of imagination and ingenuity, proving that sometimes the greatest weapon is the mind itself. What if I told you that over a century ago, China secretly built a submarine, long before submarines became symbols of naval power? In the late 1800s, during a period of rapid modernization, a group of visionary Chinese officials and inventors embarked on a daring project, constructing an underwater vessel known as the fish-shaped boat. Inspired by Western technological advancements and driven by a desire to strengthen their navy, this pioneering team designed a craft capable of submerging and resurfacing using human-powered cranks. In 1881, the vessel was completed and even successfully tested in the waters near Fuzhou. It reportedly dived beneath the surface and resurfaced, astonishing onlookers who witnessed this remarkable feat. Yet, despite its promise and potential to revolutionize naval defense, the project was abruptly shelved. The reasons remain shrouded in mystery. Some point to internal political struggles, others to skepticism and resistance from high-ranking officials wary of new technology. The boat itself vanished, leaving behind only sparse records and speculation. This forgotten episode reveals a surprising chapter of ambition and innovation, hinting at what might have been had history taken a different course. Imagine if your job could kill you with every radioactive brushstroke you make. In the early 1900s, the Radium Girls, young women crafting luminous watch dials, uncovered a deadly secret that sparked a battle to revolutionize labor laws forever. In American factories, they were hired to paint watch dials with radium-based paint. The job seemed glamorous. The radiant paint made their work sparkle, and they were encouraged to use their lips to shape the brush tips. a process called lip pointing. Unbeknownst to them, radium is highly radioactive and extremely toxic. Over time, the workers began to suffer mysterious and horrifying illnesses. Jawbones crumbled, teeth fell out, and agonizing pain set in. Doctors were baffled, and the companies denied any responsibility, dismissing the workers' claims, but the women refused to be silenced. Their courageous legal battle exposed the deadly dangers of radium to the world and forced the introduction of strict workplace safety standards. The bravery of the Radium Girls not only brought justice for themselves, but also led to life-saving regulations that protect workers to this day. Their story shines as a powerful beacon of resilience, truth, and the fight for workers' rights. What happens when a quiet London street suddenly turns into a battleground? On January 3, 1911, the East End witnessed the siege of Sydney Street, a deadly standoff between police forces and armed anarchists. It all began after a botched jewelry robbery in Houndsditch left 3 police officers dead, igniting a massive manhunt for the Latvian gang behind the attack. When 2 suspects were discovered holed up at 100 Sydney Street, authorities quickly surrounded the building, anticipating a swift surrender. Instead, a fierce gunfight erupted, echoing through the city for hours. Crowds gathered, captivated by the unprecedented sight of police and military exchanging fire with the barricaded criminals in the heart of London. The Home Secretary, Winston Churchill, personally arrived to oversee the operation, exposing himself to great danger. Eventually, the building caught fire, and the gunman died in the flames. The siege of Sydney Street shocked the nation, exposing deep social tensions over immigration and crime, and marked a significant shift in British law enforcement tactics and public perceptions of security. What would you risk for a chance to change history? In April 1862, a group of civilian volunteers led by James J. Andrews embarked on a daring mission deep in enemy territory. Their objective: steal a locomotive named the General and sabotage a vital railway line that was crucial for enemy supply and communication. Early one morning in Big Shanty, Georgia, the raiders boarded a passenger train, waited for the crew to leave for breakfast, and then steamed northward, cutting telegraph wires and ripping up tracks along the way to disrupt reinforcements. Hot on their heels was the train's conductor, William Fuller, who gave chase on foot by handcar and eventually aboard another locomotive. The pursuit was relentless, racing through the countryside at breakneck speed across bridges and tunnels. Ultimately, mechanical failures and relentless pursuit forced the raiders to abandon the General. Many were captured and faced severe consequences, including imprisonment and execution, but their audacious act became legendary. The Great Locomotive Chase remains a testament to courage, ingenuity, and the wild risks taken in the shadows of history. What if I told you the first computer was built over 2,000 years ago? In 1901, divers exploring a Roman shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera stumbled upon a corroded bronze artifact. At first glance, it looked like little more than a lump of metal, but hidden inside were intricate gears and dials, unlike anything previously discovered from that era. This was the Antikythera mechanism, a device so advanced for its time, it left scientists stunned and puzzled. Crafted around 100 BC, it could track the movements of the sun, moon, and even predict solar and lunar eclipses with remarkable accuracy. Its gears, made with mind-boggling precision, mimicked the complex motions of celestial bodies in a way that wouldn't be seen again for over 1,000 years. The device's inscriptions revealed it was used for setting dates of athletic games and calculating astronomical positions, blending science and culture. For decades, its true purpose remained a mystery, but modern imaging techniques have finally uncovered its secrets. The Antikythera mechanism stands as a testament to the incredible ingenuity of ancient Greek minds, a relic that challenges everything we thought we knew about the limits of ancient technology and craftsmanship. What if a single night of chaos could turn an army against itself? In 1788, during the Austro-Turkish War, the Battle of Karansabes became a tragic and absurd disaster. On the night of September 21st, Roughly 100,000 Austrian troops were encamped near the Timus River in what is now Romania, preparing to face the Ottoman army. Hussar scouts, sent to reconnoiter, found no enemy, but encountered local Roma selling schnapps. After indulging heavily, their drunken revelry led to a heated dispute with infantry units who demanded a share of the liquor. In the confusion, a shot rang out, likely accidental, and panic ensued. Some soldiers shouted, "Turks! Turks!" mistaking their own comrades for the enemy.